In today's news, King Garden Bay Baptist Church should provide space for the Enis, Adams, and Althea Scatliffe students. Full-day sessions are to resume. A 96 gun salute as a mark of respect to the Queen took place, and we have the details of that. BVIEC Electricity Corporation is hopeful that customers will benefit greatly from the CARILEC Resiliency and Energy Efficiency Project. Utility heads says lessons from Irma have left them prepared for future storm response, and King Charles pays tribute to the late Queen, promising lifelong service. We also take a look at the BVIEC Archery Association Development Championship and CAC Games Qualifier. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Yo, everything good there?
Aye. This thing got me one way, daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome everybody. It's Monday, September 12th, 2022. I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Monday to each and every one of you. I trust that you had a beautiful and enjoyable weekend. Beginning our newscast on the local scene, all students of the Enis, Adams, and Althea Scatliffe primary schools will now be able to attend full-day sessions for classes after the King Garden Bay Baptist Church agreed to allow the Ministry of Education to use their facility until December. This decision comes 2 weeks after the announcement by the Minister of Education, the Honorable Cherie B. DeCastro, who at the time of her statement said a decision was made for students of the Enis, Adams primary school to adopt a hybrid system of learning, while instructions, of course, continue into the development of the new second floor of the school's building, which of course is being funded by Unite BVI. Now, however, during her subsequent statement on Wednesday, September 7th, the minister revealed that several concerns were raised about the decision made by the ministry to allow for classes to operate simultaneously with the construction works. She said, and I quote, several persons in attendance expressed concerns about the plan, particularly about having a section of students attend half-day while the building was being completed. With advice from the principals, the Ministry of Education approached the leadership of the King Garden Bay Baptist Church in an effort to secure additional space for the school to use. She said, and I quote, I am pleased to report that the King Garden Bay Baptist Church graciously agreed to allow for the use of the annex, which includes classrooms and a half for the period until September 12th to December 9th. Now, while the second floor classrooms at the EAPS site are under construction, in addition to that, students will now be able to do full-day sessions. Now, thanks to the new arrangement, all students from the Enis, Adams Primary School and, of course, the Althea Scatliffe Primary School will now be able to attend full-day sessions during the construction period. In another quote, she said, with this arrangement, 2 grade 5 and 3 grade 6 groups will be stationed at the King Garden Bay Baptist Church Annex from 8:40 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. daily. Now, viewers, once administrator and a senior teacher will oversee the section of the school during this time. All classes, including music, PE, and Spanish, will take place there. Honorable DeCastro also said, now she said, all other students will attend classes at the Enis, Adams campus from 8:40 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. daily. Classes will begin on the 12th of September for both locations. The education minister further said that transportation, of course, will be provided from the festival grounds in Road Town to the school and the church facility daily. She said the drop-off time will be 8 a.m. and pickup will be 3:50 p.m. His Excellency Governor John Ranking hosted a gun salute on Friday as a mark of respect to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who died on September 8th. Among those present at the ceremony were Premier of the Virgin Islands, Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley, members of the National Unity Government, Opposition Leader, the Honorable Julian Fraser, Territorial Representative, the Honorable Carvin Malone, along with the Deputy Governor, Mr. David D. Archer, and Mrs. Archer. Speaking during the ceremony, Governor Ranking reflected on the Queen's legacy.
Today, we join together in the Queen Elizabeth Park to mourn the loss of the Queen and to offer our thoughts and prayers for her and to her family, of which she was mother, grandmother and great-grandmother. I have today written a letter of condolence to His Majesty King Charles III on behalf of the people of the Virgin Islands, expressing the hope that he can take comfort that Her Majesty the Queen was so deeply respected and held in warm affection by people here. While we mourn, let us at the same time take inspiration from the Queen's extraordinary service and devotion to duty. She has been a shining example from which we can all take strength in the days ahead. I'm grateful to all present for being with us today in joining to give thanks for the life of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. May she rest in peace.
Premier Wheatley also spoke to the passing of the Queen and what she meant to the territory of the Virgin Islands.
Though beloved by the entire world, I reflect on the impact on my very own mother, who was 6 years old when the Queen, Her Majesty the Queen was coronated in 1952. And she recalls fondly receiving a coronation cup. And while we might take it for granted today, the impact of having a young woman thrust into such a significant position as the head of the Commonwealth and Queen over the United Kingdom and the overseas territories. Back then, it certainly was revolutionary and inspiring to women around the world. And that is certainly something that is not lost on me.
Now, the speeches from the Premier and the Governor was immediately followed by a 96 gun salute by members of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. Here's a look. Following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, the Union flag has been half-masted at the Governor's House and Government House and will remain at half-mast until the day after her funeral, except during the proclamation of the new sovereign, when the flags will be temporarily erased. The BVIEC government offices are also lowering flags as a mark of respect. Now, the Governor's office, in a subsequent published statement, revealed that the proclamation of the new sovereign will be marked in the British Virgin Islands on Sunday, of course, which was observed on Sunday 11th, and added that there will be a short ceremony following that. Now, viewers, it is important to know that Governor Ranking has opened a book of condolences at the Old Government House Museum leading up to the Queen's funeral. Leading up to the funeral, the government has opened a book of condolences at the Old Government House Museum. The book of condolences will be open to the public from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday, September 9th, and then again, of course, on the 10th. Of course, persons can also do their online condolences book by visiting the government website. Visitors should enter, of course, the Sir Francis Drake's Highway when doing so. Those wishing to sign the books on the sister islands should contact their district officer for further details. Of course, a virtual condolences book is also available, and that is at www.royal.uk.com. Again, that website for virtual condolence book is royal.uk.com. The office said further details will be issued concerning the Queen's funeral, for which the territory will be invited to observe 2 minutes of silence in honor of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Viewers, when 284 News returns, BVIEC hopeful that customers will benefit greatly from the CARILEC Resiliency and Energy Efficiency Project. And of course, we take a look at the utility heads who are saying they've been learning a lot from the lessons of Irma, which have left them prepared for future storm response. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
You value traditions. You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Hello?
Wait, you had a lunch and care? You say you were sick? What happened to our wedding rehearsal?
No, babe. I'm actually watching the news right now. Take a listen.
Topping our newscast today, UFOs seen around Tortola Pier Park.
And District 3 residents outraged over no water supply. They simply cannot bathe. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
All right, babe, just get some rest, take 2 Advil, and I'll see you later.
Bye.
Okay, honey. I see you later. I love you.
It's clear to see that Coconut Lounge is a place to be, the coolest cocktail lounge in the British Virgin Islands. A lounge like no other, with welcoming, professional service, and a breathtaking ambiance. Not forgetting a diverse selection of wines, beers, and signature cocktails. Cozy, comfortable, contemporary. Coconut Lounge at Tortola Pier Park. Visit us today. Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. You're watching 284 News out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Continuing on the local scene, General Manager of the BVI Electricity Corporation, Mr. Leroy A.E. Abraham, says the corporation is waiting with bated breath to see what it believes will be the positive impact of the CARILEC Resiliency and Energy Efficiency Project in helping Virgin Islanders to make a more educated decision when managing their home's energy consumption.
This program, which we have signed on to with CARILEC and some other overseas territories, Cayman, I think Bermuda, St. Martin, some of the other jurisdictions in the region that has signed on to this program. We have high expectations at BVIEC that this would assist in terms of educating our customer base and being able to better manage and control their energy usage.
The British Virgin Islands is one of 6 overseas territories that have signed on to benefit from the 18-month Energy Resilience Building Project intended to help territories reduce their climate vulnerability and, of course, the impact of the global crisis. The project was designed under the theme Overcoming Disruptions in Times of Crisis, Weathering Social and Financial Impact of COVID-19 on the Energy Sector, under the Resilience, Sustainable Energy and Marine Biodiversity Program of the European Union and the French government's expertise, French corporate agency. Now, CARILEC officially launched in February of this year. The project specifically targets energy affordability for residents, customers, including low-income homes, out-of-work professionals formerly employed with the tourism sector, and energy service providers. Mr. Abraham hopes that through the mainstreaming of conservation measures and practices, the project will open the eyes of persons to one of the most effective and free-to-use measures of lowering their monthly spend on electricity.
We're looking very keenly to this project taking root within our community to provide customers with the much needed information with regards to managing their energy. As you rightfully mentioned, energy conservation is that low-hanging fruit. It requires zero investment It doesn't require you having to take funds to try to lower your usage. It comes from certain lifestyle changes, like it isn't economic to iron your clothes every single day. You should choose one time per week and iron
everything
all of
all
your
at the same
clothes
time.
all at once for the week, because ultimately anything that produces heat that's required for electricity, it consumes a lot of electricity.
The education of residents on energy conservation measures and technologies will be coupled, of course, with skills training to diversify the local workforce, as well as efforts to create new business opportunities around innovative energy services. To mark the 5-year anniversary of the passing of Hurricane Irma, representatives of 2 of the territory's most vital and impacted utilities reflected on the progress that has been made on the winding road, of course, and road to recovery. Director of Water and Sewage Department, Perline Scatliffe Leonard, and of course the General Manager of the BVI Electricity Corporation, Mr. Leroy A.E. Abraham, were featured in the Government and Irma Reflection Program. Now, they both spoke of the devastations particular to each of their respective units as a result of Hurricane Irma, noting that the recovery period has been fruitful. When asked what they believe to be their utility's greatest achievement during the recovery period, Ms. Scatliffe Leonard said that in the case of the Water and Sewage Department, it was the ability to emerge from the devastation stronger and better equipped to serve than before.
Apart from restoring water services to many of our customers, we were able to convince bodies that we needed to change out our water tanks at the Longbush, Carrot Bay, and Zion Hill areas. So now at this point, we are fully territory-wide with steel glass roofs to steel tanks, which is a big accomplishment for the BVIEC. We also, at this time, because at the time they took out our systems with our billing for our customers and so forth. So with that, we were able to push a bit deeper and convince the authorities that we needed to get our billing system online, where we would be able to right away at some point come up quickly to begin billing and our customers and so forth. Because what happened to us right after the storm, we went manual. We had to create our own bill invoices in order to give to customers for them to make payment. So we are out of that situation now. So if something was to happen again, I think we are pretty much in good stead to deal with that situation.
As for the BVI Electricity Corporation, Mr. Abraham said that the most remarkable was the ability of his team to restore power to all connection-ready customers within 6 months of a complete whiteout of the existing systems.
Well, for us, I think the most proudest thing is the fact that we were able to reinstate or reconnect everyone who was quote-unquote connectable within a 6-month period of time. To some persons, that may not sound significant, but for a utility that practically started at zero, when you put things in context, we had no headquarters. The majority of our power station was severely damaged. Thank God the capital expansion that we had started in 2015, that actually finished on time, and we dedicated that in May of 2017. And it was that new extension is what was used to bring power on, because the older portion of the station practically lost the majority of its roof. So that station was totally off limits.
Of course, Mr. Abraham had much more to say as it pertains to the progress of the BVI Electricity Corporation. Take a look.
So, as I say, painting a picture with the limited resources that we had, the limited assistance, albeit that we got quite a bit of assistance from our regional sister utilities. I think we had approximately 11 sister utilities that came in from all different jurisdictions in the Caribbean to assist with the recovery. We also got some assistance from some Canadian linesmen that was engaged by the UK government. But I don't want to draw any comparisons at the end of the day. But when you look at those numbers compared to the numbers that you were hearing in right next door, you know, it wasn't even a scratch in terms of the volume of the resources that was in the USVI dealing with recovery.
Mr. Abraham said that an estimated of 13,000 customers across 12 islands served by BVI Electricity Corporation were restored during that period alone, a figure which has steadily grown over the years as homes were rebuilt. Both utility heads are confident that the lessons from Irma have been able to better prepare them to respond to future incidents and have ultimately set a new standard for hurricane preparedness here in the British Virgin Islands. Viewers, when 284 News return, King Charles pays tribute to the late Queen and he promises lifelong service. And of course, we take a look at the VI Archery Association, their Caribbean Development Championships, as well as CSC Games.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
The wait is over! CCT Fire is here! Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire, bring it home and upgrade today.
Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Leaping straight into his new duties upon assuming sovereignty on the heels of his mother's passing, King Charles III delivered his first public address on Friday, September 9th. His speech was streamed to an audience of about 2,000 who attended the remembrance service for the Queen at St. Paul's Cathedral and was also televised at the home audience for persons virtually. Now, the address began with the King's own expression of profound sorrow surrounding his mother's passing as he paid tribute to her long legacy and promised to carry on the promise of lifelong service.
Throughout her life, Her Majesty the Queen, my beloved mother, was an inspiration, an example to me and to all my family. And we owe her the most heartfelt debt any family could owe to their mother, for her love, affection, guidance, understanding, and example. Queen Elizabeth was a life well lived, a promise with destiny kept, and she is mourned most deeply in her passing. That promise of lifelong service I renew to you all today. Alongside the personal grief that all my family are feeling, we also share with so many of you in the United Kingdom, in all the countries where the Queen was head of state, in the Commonwealth and across the world, a deep sense of gratitude for the more than 70 years in which my mother, as Queen, served the people of so many nations.
The king went on to reflect on the vast changes that have been seen in the country throughout the Queen's lengthy reign, and he promised rather to embrace the diversity that has been built upon that in the time to come.
When the Queen came to the throne, Britain and the world were still coping with the privations and aftermath of the Second World War, and still living by the conventions of earlier times. In the course of the last 70 years, we have seen our society become one of many cultures and many faiths. The institutions of the state have changed in turn. But through all changes and challenges, our nation and the wider family of realms, of whose talents, traditions, and achievements I am so inexpressibly proud, have prospered and flourished. Our values have remained and must remain constant. The role and the duties of monarchy also remain, as does the sovereign's particular relationship and responsibility towards the Church of England, the church in which my own faith is so deeply rooted. In that faith and the values it inspires, I have been brought up to cherish a sense of duty to others and to hold in the greatest respect the precious traditions, freedoms, and responsibilities of our unique history and our system of parliamentary government.
Now, King Charles, that is, first day of duties saw him travel back home to London. He was greeted at Buckingham Palace by well-wishers who sang the national anthem, which has been adjusted to reflect the change in the monarch and is now called God Save the King. There he met with Prime Minister Liz Truss. The initial moments of this meeting were captured on camera.
Your Majesty. Very good to see you.
Very kind to come in. I know how incredibly busy.
Me too.
Anyway, we mustn't take. But it's been so touching this afternoon when we arrived here. All those people would come to give their condolences.
Your Majesty, my very, very sincere
Very kind. You're very kind. It's the moment I've been dreading, as I know a lot of people have. But try and keep everything going.
Absolutely.
Come and see.
Prime Minister Liz Truss was the last Prime Minister to be appointed by Queen Elizabeth II in the final days of her life. Viewers, I want to thank you so much for joining us for today's News Roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com. And of course, like us on Facebook at 284media, and as well as Instagram and Twitter at 284BVI, as well as YouTube. Have a beautiful rest of the day. I'm Ron Grant reporting for 284 News. Happy Monday, everyone. Bye-bye.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire.